and welcome back to Gotham Sound's coverage of NAB 2025. We are here with Jeff from Phonak Diplex.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping us wrap out our
Yeah,
show,
last
saving
one.
the best for last.
Yeah, our voices
for
are still available, I think, for us, so that's good.
That's why the
So,
microphones are
yeah,
inside our mouths.
yeah.
So it's always a pleasure to see you. You're always such a pleasant
Thank you.
person, and for anybody that that gets a chance to interact with Jeff, he's one of the most helpful and lovely human beings out there. So that's it. I gotta go.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for the good lead up. No pressure, but yeah, thank you so much, Nick.
So we're talking Phonak.
Yeah.
So why don't we do just a brief overview of the system, and then we can talk about the new stuff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what we're doing is queuing talent as usual, discreetly, so that the talent only has the earpiece in their ear. We've been doing it for over 30 years. We are a hearing aid company traditionally from Switzerland, and we use our technology in a niche sort of market like this where we're queuing talent. And yeah, I mean, our key has always been really good audio being transferred to the ear so that there's no questions on what is being queued and what they're listening to, the talent, and that it's only the earpiece. And that really has been the key. And still about the size. For us, it's about the size. Size does matter. It's so small. It fits in your ear and you can't see it. I mean, it's just so small, right in the first bench of your ear canal. So yeah, I mean, that's really our specialty, obviously, in the studio broadcast world for Phonak. And there's different ways that we have to be able to transmit the audio to the earpiece. We have our more traditional rackable base station here. You've got a 1/8-inch plug in the back. You got a 3.5 millimeter. You got an XLR as well, all line level. And then you can go to unlimited receivers or earpieces per one base station or transmitter. And you can also have multiple base stations in one vicinity. So we've done up to 15 different base stations. That would be quite high. I don't think we've ever had anyone do that many.
Okay.
But because it has its own network ID, they don't overlap at all. So it's actually recognizing that that's the encryption key of one, and you can have certainly many base stations on your rack, for example. That's the most common Roger transmitter, but we do have much more mobile ones. Still our traditional touchscreen mic. Still a great option. You can name the receiver with this one. You can change the volume levels with the specific earpieces if you need to. If one talent has hearing impairment, or maybe one has sensitive ears and they don't want it as loud. So this is still a great tool to have in your bag of tricks. We do have the Roger repeaters still, which is this one right here. Just basically extending range. You would pair it with the transmitter that you're using, and then you can just essentially daisy chain and keep getting distance that way. Our system as a whole is only about 11 milliseconds of latency, so still very, very quick. Interference free as well. You'll never have buzzing in the ear with our earpiece. So yeah, and then sort of the latest and greatest, we had talked about it last year at NAB, and but it actually wasn't out at that time. So now it is available. It's the Roger On. It's just so small and lightweight. So this really does take the place of the multimedia hub and the touchscreen mic, where you have the ability to change the individual volumes of the earpieces. It does have a line level. Yes, you can do that with this.
How?
It's just so small. How I see it, so traditionally it's just a standalone microphone, so it can act as just a microphone from here directly to one or many earpieces. We can also then have a line in, which I find this is the best use for this, which would be we can tap into an existing bell pack system like Electrosonic, Saxcom, whatever it might be, where you're already getting that distance that you need in your studio. So now it becomes, we just need to get the audio out of that bell pack in through the Roger On, and then your wireless to the earpiece. So it really does solve a lot of distance issues. Many times you can put that bell pack just off camera, if not on the talent themselves. But I think that that's the really cool way to use this. I mentioned to you before, I learned of a really cool way we can use it also with your cell phone, where it's a USB-C. If you go USB-C to USB-C to your cell phone, this then can be your transmit audio, your microphone on the Roger On, and then that's transmitting the receive audio to your earpiece. So now all of a sudden you're using your cell phone in a discreet way,
Mm-hmm.
which is an interesting idea where you can queue talent remotely from well off location. I'm thinking of a news anchor that is, on the scene, and perhaps you're wanting to talk to them and queue them discreetly, but also they're having a conversation back through their cell phone, for example. So, very handy tool, so lightweight, it's so small. That's why I really like this thing. Yeah.
And what's the battery life on this?
Battery life is about 6 to 8 hours, and the other option is that it does come with the standard with a docking station here, so you can have it permanently charging as well as have the audio into it. So that's a nice little feature as well. It comes standard with a purchase Roger on. So, yeah.
Okay, so I got two more things for you. So let's talk tariffs, right?
Okay.
Because you're based in Canada,
Yes,
and
yeah.
Phonak is Switzerland.
Swiss. We
Yeah.
are Swiss based, but many of the products are actually made in Vietnam. So currently, I mean, right now with the latest list, which is obviously a bit of a fluid situation as far as what it is today, is it going to be that tomorrow? Currently, it's a 46% tariff on stuff from Vietnam. So, it's so new. I don't know how that's being implemented, but in theory, this would add 46% to our cost. My suggestion is that if somebody is in need of our products, within the next month, and they absolutely need this, please contact Gotham Sound, and maybe there's something that we can work on a per project basis with Phonak's involvement on trying to help alleviate some of that cost. Our goal is obviously not having that charge at all, and we talked about it offset that it's so new that a lot of U.S. companies haven't gotten there yet, where you're importing something from a different country, and how is that tariff applied? The tariffs have been in place now I'm from Canada, and, tariffs have been in place now for about a month. So for us, my life has been talking about tariffs for the last month. But it is literally when you're importing something from the US, as an example, and this might be something that people find interesting. It's coming when we're the importing company and it's a US made good. It depends on the HS code. So you have to know what the HS importing code is. And depending on that, it may trigger a 25% tariff, in this case, between Canada and the US, or it may not. And we can actually check that on our government list to see if it does trigger it. If it does trigger it, it comes up on your UPS or FedEx bill as an extra line item. So for all the people out there ordering stuff internationally as US people, that is non-US goods, that is kind of what you're looking at, is that there's going to be an additional importing fee that you would be on the hook for if you're the importer or importing company. So just keep an eye out on that. I mean, it's so fluid that, I don't want it to deter anything as far as, people importing. Like I said, I know that in speaking to a lot of manufacturers here, they may be delaying what they're going to decide to do or how they're going to implement this. So I would just make sure you're checking with Gotham Sound, for all of you out there, on where your product's from, how we're going to deal with this, that kind of thing.
Well, so thank you for that.
Yeah,
And I think that's a very reasonable way to do it, and that's basically how we don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
And we're letting people know that there may be an additional tariff assessed on something. And it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so let's change to happier times. You are the proud parent of a hockey championship winner.
Yes.
And also a hockey championship winner yourself.
So I came late last night because I was delayed a day. I'm a head coach of my son's hockey team, U10 AA rep hockey team in Canada. Yes, most Canadians play hockey. That's not a stereotype, but it is real. So yeah, it was a pretty cool day yesterday. Ended up winning my own hockey championship and his championship in one day. Literally,
that's amazing.
Going from one to the other, and two team pictures on the ice at center ice with the trophy and all this stuff. So it was a pretty good day yesterday. And as I said, Toronto Blue Jays also signed Vladdy Guerrero finally, which we were waiting for in Toronto. So we were pretty pumped up. So it was a good day yesterday. And Ovechkin beat the goal scoring record, which I don't necessarily like. Obviously, he's Canadian. Kind of liked Wayne, still the great one, still having it. But records are meant to be broken, as Wayne has been saying. And so it's a pretty cool day yesterday. Yeah, a lot of stuff happened. Yeah.
That is cool. I will say, so I told you about this. I was at the Mets game against the Blue Jays, our own Hope opener, and the Mets fans booed everybody except Vladdy, because I think that they were hoping that he was gonna,
that was before signing.
Jump ship.
Yeah.
So that is interesting to know. All right, Jeff, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your comments. Well, we got a Dallas Stars fan on the
Oh,
chat.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for your comments. Thanks for rolling with us and all of our connectivity issues over the last few days. As always, you can watch this video and more at gothamsound.tv. You can follow us on any social media platform you can think of, and hopefully we're there. You can email us at info@gothamsound.com if you'd like to connect or talk about anything at all. And if you're considering purchasing or renting any of this audio or communications or production equipment that we've talked about and more, please consider using Gotham Sound. Thanks so much.